Looking good, good. Howdy, Theo. How are you? Okay. Howdy, God of Car. Yes, yes, you Brony. I heard some news. That's why I decided to do a small stream today. Cause frankly, I want to talk about it, but I'm not really feeling like scripting an entire video for it. So I thought I'd try it freestyle for once. I hope you enjoy it. If you guys like it, I might do it more often. We'll see about that. So yeah, Season 9. That's quite a thing, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, someone is sad. What's wrong, Farming TV? By the way, can you hear me alright? Farming TV, have you something else to say? Because if you just spam so sad the entire time, it's getting kinda annoying. Okay. Gonna share this on. Okay, yeah. Well, technically My Little Pony itself will not end, only Friendship is Magic will. Good, good. Glad to hear that. Okay. Maybe this is a pretty good point to start with. Because frankly, I am somewhat looking forward to the end of MLP. Because, you know, the show, I watched the show since 2011, you know. I enjoyed it a lot, but at the same time, I think it kind of ran its course by now. We had a lot of stuff happening over the last couple of years. Some stuff was pretty amazing, some stuff not so much. And yeah, I think keeping a show like this going on forever won't help. I mean, you know how they say that's The Simpsons, or here SpongeBob got worse over time. So yeah, I rather would like to see MLP end on a high note and dragging on forever. And the thing is, at some point I do kind of feel if we are already past that high point, you know? And well, and so I think it might be a good time to move on, especially when you consider, guys, we had 9 seasons of MLP. That's we get in the end we will have over 200 episodes to look back on. Think of some of your favorite shows, especially cartoons, and think how many of them actually managed to get more than 100 episodes. And you will notice that maybe 9 seasons aren't so bad. When you consider that some other great cartoons like Gravity Falls ended after just 2 seasons that were stretched over multiple years, okay, but still. Why does it have to end? Well, yeah, several reasons, I guess. One of the reasons, I suppose, is, well, they want to do something. They want to do something new, and frankly, I do think that they wrote themselves into a couple of corners. I think it kind of got the most obvious during Shadow Play, when you go back and watch that episode, because, oh wow, we now have the elements of harmony, we now have the pillars of Equestria, and we have 4 alicorns, and, well, 5 if you count Floriat. So, yeah, how do we gonna raise the stakes? Because when you think about it, there's nothing they can really pull out their ass to be an actual threat. Would I mind seeing more MLP seasons? Frankly, if the quality keeps up for another 2 or 3 seasons, I wouldn't mind. And it would have been kinda awesome to get the Big 10 season at least. But still, 9 seasons, more than 200 episodes, a fucking movie, and 2 TV specials. That's not quite bad. And, well, next up, there's, of course, the simple yeah, about that movie in 2021. I mean, we don't know it yet, quite sure, but chances are that this will be the one that starts the 5th generation of My Little Pony. We will have to wait and see if that's actually true, but it is more than likely. And I mean, guys, the one thing about the 2021 movie that is confirmed is that it will be a CG movie. Do you want all heroines of G4 to be in a CG movie? I'm not quite sure. I think that would be a little bit of a drastic change. It's not like our fandom will die after G4. Yeah, that's also true, Theo. Especially when you consider, well, fandoms tend to stick around. One thing which is true is that some people will lose interest after a while because there's no new content, and of course there's a bit hard for new viewers to get into it if there isn't the show going on. So I suppose the active fandom will shrink down, but it won't go away completely. Even with the terrible Transformer movies, people still love the fandom. Yeah. I mean, that's the next thing. People are saying, oh no, how can... It's much too soon to reboot MLP and stuff. And then I think to myself, are you really that surprised we are talking about Hasbro? And one of the most popular Hasbro properties is Transformers, a franchise that gets rebooted like every 2 years. So yeah, not much of a surprise there. Okay, so who of you has watched the latest trailer? Because, well, that's the thing. We're gonna go into spoilers, so you are warned. So, what you should know about the upcoming... By now we have 2 trailers for Season 9 and a couple of screenshots and a small article. Maybe we start with the good stuff first. Well, one thing we do know for sure is that King Sombra will come back. Woohoo! I actually kind of look forward to that because, well, Sombra, while I do think that he is underappreciated in the Crystal Empire, that he was actually surprisingly effective, he was somewhat underutilized. As he had barely any screen time and no personality to speak of. So, yeah, it would be pretty. I think it's pretty awesome that they give him another chance to shine, especially after the cutie remark. We saw how it would end up if he had won. That was pretty interesting, and so I think it's kind of awesome that they bring him back, especially since, well, I'm gonna do a video on it probably sometime later this month, as after I already did his Fiendship is Magic issue. I'm planning to cover the Siege of the Crystal Empire story arc as well, which was the first time when Sombra came back which was the one time in the comics when Sombra came back and had a villain in quote unquote villain team up. And yeah, that kinda sucked. Especially since they forced in a redemption and stuff. And I mean, the redemption in itself wasn't even handled that bad, actually. It was actually handled decently until the end. Because you see, in the Siege of the Crystal Empire, it was like Sombra saw the errors in his ways and decided to sacrifice himself to redeem himself. That was a pretty nice conclusion for his character. And then they put out a Deus Ex Machina to restore him as a normal unicorn, which was rather stupid and kinda undermines the point he was when he was trying to sacrifice himself and so on. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. So I would really love to see how the show handles it. Of course, I am a bit worried that they make it even worse. But I suppose there's always a chance that they handle it well. Now, so yeah, Sombra's return. That's cool. Next thing is, looking at the trailer, it seems like he's trying to kidnap Floriard. That's also kind of funny because I was watching that first trailer and was like, wait a minute, so Sombra returns and kidnaps Floriard to do whatever he tries to do with her. So that's basically what I thought the Crystalling would be like before it aired. I mean, okay, actually I thought the Chrysalis would be the villain of the Crystalling, though Sombra would have been my second guess. So that's kind of funny. Since I think it would have been an obvious plotline back in season 6, and now they're gonna do it just 3 seasons late, which is kind of weird if you ask me. Oh, Cozy Glow. Yeah, Cozy. You see, I do think Cozy was somewhat entertaining, but I wasn't a big fan of the decision to make her evil and lock her up into Tartarus. I mean, people are saying, oh no, she's totally evil and so on, and she totally deserved to be in Tartarus. My issue is not that she doesn't deserve to be in Tartarus. My issue is that the writers decided that the child character is the one villain that deserves to be in Tartarus, while other characters just get away with much worse with worse stuff and basically just get a slap on the wrist. Like, oh yeah, we can redeem Starlight Glimmer, we can redeem Fizzlepop Berry Twists, we can redeem Discord of all people. But nope, the child that's a lost cause. Now we're gonna lock her up in hell. Also, hello everyone who joined the stream. Yeah. Next up, so the first trailer was pretty great. Though it did one thing that somewhat bothered me is that they decided, yeah, okay, we're gonna destroy the elements of harmony now, and I was like, okay, guys, the elements of harmony, you wrote them out of the show in season 4. You put them in the tree with the intention that, yeah, we can't rely on those anymore. Then you brought them back in season 7, so you can deal with the Pony of Shadows, and basically said, oh yeah, that whole Tree of Harmony thing, that was completely not necessary. We can basically pull them out whenever we want. And I thought that was kind of problematic because it sort of undermines the entire gravity of the ending of Princess Twilight Sparkle. Because when you think about it, now you could just say, okay, why didn't you go back and get the elements of harmony to deal with Tyrek when he was rampaging to this through Equestria? Why did we need the rainbow powers? You could simply use the elements of harmony. So that's what kind of stupid, if you ask me. But now that they decided in season 7 to bring them back, it was like, okay, now you have no excuse not to use the elements of harmony when the next big bad shows up. And apparently they saw that problem and decided to solve it by destroying the elements of harmony for good now. And yeah, okay, you're solving a problem you yourself created back in season 7. Okay, I'm back. Well, seems like they're gonna bring back the rainbow forms now, or something similar in the next season opener. We will see about that. Yeah. Well, one thing which is kinda interesting, there's this screenshot, the scene about Twilight powering up the what looks like Twilight blessing the student 6 with the powers of the elements or something. Most likely, it when you look closer at it, you notice that Twilight is kind of sparkly, so it looks like it's actually the Tree of Harmony that took the form of Twilight again, like here in what was it, What Lies Beneath. So yeah, I could see that the Tree of Harmony and the Elements of Harmony and the elements are actually not gone for good, so but rather stick around in some fashion. Do you have a pony of your person? Well, sort of. Give me a sec. I do have. Yes, FNGR, that was magic. I was thinking about playing it a bit while talking. So Celestia was training Twilight. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a bit. So regarding my pony OC, I do have a couple of there are a couple of pictures of pony fight versions of my fox. Though my actual pony OC, that's Myth Teller. Kinda used them before I came up with Tricky. But now I'm only using them once in a while when I feel like it. There we go. There. That's my pony. You'll see if you want to. Okay. Now regarding the but now let's talk about the new trailer, which is the one which kinda bothered me, cause it was Celestia and Luna announced they gonna retire and put Twilight in charge, and I was like, what? That's kinda stupid if you ask me. I mean, sure, it makes kinda sense from a meta perspective, cause let's face it, Celestia and Luna were kinda useless throughout the last 8 seasons. They never really contributed anything meaningful. Yeah, they do pretty much nothing. But that's kind of the thing that bothers me the most. That's how you're gonna end those characters. Those characters that achieve nothing. Gonna retire to let someone else doing their shit they can't handle. Yeah, that still bothers me today. And I'm not against the idea of Celestia and Luna. That Twilight basically succeeds Celestia in general. I think that's a good idea. That's an interesting angle. But it's just the fact that Celestia just says, yeah, you're in charge now, I'm sure you can handle it. That's it, what bothers me. It's... First of all, Twilight and Twilight showed really no capabilities as a ruler throughout the last 8 seasons. Especially since Celestia and Luna never really allowed her to do any princess stuff, which came to some hilarious scenes where Twilight was complaining that she has nothing to do and was bored. And in the end, well, since she had nothing better to do, she opened up a rather pointless school just to keep herself occupied. And now you want to put that person who has no experience whatsoever in charge of the ruling the country suddenly. Since, ruling a country and saving it from monsters are 2 different things. I think it's strange that it's pointing out. So, if Celestia had prepared Twilight properly to take that sort of responsibility, I wouldn't mind it so much. Next thing is Luna's reasoning. Oh yeah, I think also Cadence would be better, would be a better ruler than Celestia, because for all, even though people like to make fun of Cadence being bland and stuff and being the princess of toys, she's actually the most active Alicorn princess in the entire show. The only one who actually tries to do stuff. Yeah. So now we have that situation where Celestia and Luna retire because, according to them, it's the longest period of harmony Equestria had in years. And I look at that quote and think to myself, wait a minute, what the fuck happened during the last 8 seasons again? We had Night Moon's Return, Discord, Chrysalis, Sombra, Tyrek, then the whole Starlight thing, Chrysalis again, the Pony of Shadows, and that doesn't not include the whole thing where, I mean, not to mention that the mere fact that there was Discord allowed Chaos allowed Discord to come back in the first place. So, yeah. Well, how is that any of that harmonic? I mean, sure, there is a bit of a point to be made that when you look at about the political relationships of Equestria, that there is more harmony now, as pretty much all the races somewhat get along now. Suddenly, Equestria is allied with dragons, changelings, yaks, hippogriffs, and griffins. Before that, everyone just kind of kept to themselves. So, yeah, when you look at this angle, there is some truth to the to that statement that there is more harmony as everyone gets better along now, but still, it just seems kind of irresponsible when there is a new villain trying to take over the world every other month. That Celestia and Luna just say, yeah, we fuck off and put you in charge. But that again brings us to the point that Twilight actually has no experience ruling. So, and while I could maybe see that Celestia is getting a bit tired of that shit after over 1,000 years and would like to put someone else in charge. I mean, first of all, just doing it, yeah, you're in charge now, is not a good approach. Maybe, yeah, I plan to put you in charge, but we'll give it a bit of time. That's a good approach, but not, yeah, I put you in charge right away. That's not a good idea. But then there's Luna. Luna turned evil quite literally because she didn't feel appreciated as a ruler. And she did a job no one appreciated. And then she spent the next 1,000 years on the moon as Night Moon. Then she came back. Was actually one of the most harmony disturbing things that showed up in over 1,000 years. And then and after she was redeemed, she went back to doing the same job no one really appreciated before. So, tell me again, does it make sense? It's just something, nah. She didn't really do anything to... I don't quite know why she would really do that now, when this would be basically her chance to shine. And next thing is, of course, I mean, the big question is, of course, who is going to take charge of managing the Luna and of the moon and the sun now? I mean, technically speaking, I do think that Twilight can move the sun and the moon if she wants to. It's in the end, it's basically just a very powerful telekinesis spell. So, as it was explained back in season 8, all you need is basically enough magic to do it, with even having a small group of unicorns doing it, but the unicorns are at risk to lose the ability to cast magic at all if they do it too much. While alicorns don't have that problem and can move the sun and the moon on their own. So there's no reason why Twilight couldn't manage the sun and the moon. But one thing is that Luna, that is pretty much stated that Luna is the only one who can walk through dreams. So, when you think about it, I mean, you could either say, yeah, Luna, everything you've done up to this point was kind of pointless, as you were only in charge of looking over other ponies' dreams. Or she can't retire because she's literally the only one who can do it. They were pretty specific in that regard back in a role problem. Yeah, so Luna retiring doesn't make any sense. Next thing is, of course, Starlight can run the school, yeah. That's another thing that I kind of noticed. Starlight is very much absent throughout the season 9 promotion material so far. Seems like they're gonna reduce her role a bit. I mean, she will probably get to an episode or two devoted to her, but yeah. So, the thing is, how does Luna do it? How is she the only one who can dream walk? Well, they said in Raw Problems that this is a unique magic to her. I mean, we could take the comics into account, but because her fiendship is magic issue actually explains that one. But yeah, the fiendship is magic comic wasn't that great either. Yeah, that's the next thing. Okay, guys, here's how I would handle it. Again, I'm not against the idea that Twilight replaces Celestia. Actually, it's a very interesting idea. But I would actually do something like, okay, Celestia, Sombra returns and everyone is in danger. Sombra's actually about to win. Celestia steps up and actually does something for once by either maybe even sacrifices herself to take Sombra down. I mean, sure, we are talking about a kid show, and MLP has seemingly a rather strict no-killing rule, so we probably can't have Celestia be killed there. But turning her into stone again would be kinda lame. So maybe she could seal somewhere away with herself, in limbo or another different dimension or something like that. So Celestia basically goes out of the way, saving Equestria, but has to sacrifice herself, leaving Twilight in charge. I would like that. Or you don't even have to actually remove Celestia. Maybe that she just has to sacrifice her ability to cast magic, so that Twilight basically has to take over, while Celestia sticks around, powerless, but still as some sort of an advisor for her. Tricky Fox, they kill the Storm King, remember? Well, technically, he was turned into stone and shattered. Don't know if you could restore him if you were to glue the stone pieces back together. Because that's, by the way, one way how I talked about that in my Fiendship is Magic comic review. Actually, there Princess Amore was turned into stone and shattered, but there's a caption added that explains that she could be restored if you basically glue her statue back together, all the pieces back together, and cast a spell on it. So, yeah, that's a thing. That was actually a mandate from Hasbro, because the comics have a strict no-killing rule. So basically, there was an explanation that, yeah, people turning into stone is not lethal. It's even if they are shattered, they can still be restored. So so while the comics are not exactly canon, technically, since the mandate came from Hasbro that this must be possible, I suppose it could be possible with the Storm King. So next, tricky. Who else do you want to see coming back other than She Sandwich and Quill Pants? Okay, first of all, I'm really looking forward to see She Sandwich and, well, to some degree, Quill Pants. Frankly, I'm not that crazy about Quill Pants. He was fun enough in that one episode, but I don't think that we really needed to see him again. Not complaining. If he gets a fun episode, he gets a fun episode. And Patton Oswalt, he's a funny guy, and his performance as Quill Pants was actually pretty good. Regarding She Sandwich, I mean, it's weird fucking air. He's just fun in everything he is in. She Sandwich is a fun character, and, well, I stand by that. She Sandwich was the most important character in My Little Pony the movie. He built a party cannon that was essential in bringing the Storm King down. Okay, thoughts about Chrysalis. Yeah, that's the next thing that kinda irritates me. I mean, because I thought that they're gonna save Chrysalis for the season opener, but instead they're bringing Sombra back. Because now we are in the weird situation. Okay, what we gonna do with Chrysalis? Do we gonna just leave her open, running around, never really addressing her, leaving her fate open? Or do we actually tackle that story, that plot point? Will we actually take care of her? And that's one thing that kind of bothers me, because, I mean, there's always a possibility that they decide to make her the final villain for the series finale. But frankly, I think Chrysalis would be a bit disappointing as a final villain. Now, there is a possibility, because, the trailer that was released that came with an Hollywood Reporter article, and we get a glimpse of the synopsis of the season opener there. Let me read it for you. In the back-to-back season premiere episode titled The Beginning of the End, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna decide to retire and hand off the ruling of Equestria to Twilight Sparkle and her friends, which sends Twilight into a tailspin of self-doubt. Meanwhile, an ancient villain bands together a legion of nefarious characters to conquer all of Equestria, challenging Twilight Sparkle and the rest of the main six to step in and save the day. So, the way it is worded, the article could imply that there will be a villain team up for the season premiere. But I think Chrysalis and Sombra wouldn't really work there. But we'll see about that. Could be, maybe not. Thing is, I don't think that here Chrysalis is material for the series finale. So if they don't deal with her during the season premiere, they would either kinda have to ignore her or deal with her somewhere within the season. Now, and I think tackling her in a standalone episode, like one single episode, would kinda be too less for her. I think she does deserve another two-parter. Just not the series finale. So, I mean, maybe it is possible that they decide, now that this is the final season, that they're gonna do more than just two-parters. Maybe they're gonna do a mid-season finale that spams 2 episodes. I'm not sure. It is possible. I could see that happening, but I think it's rather unlikely, because, well, they kind of have that. It's more or less an unspoken rule at this point, I guess. Yeah. But, so that's my take on that. Now, regarding the series finale in it on itself, thing the thing is, there I can only see two. I can only see a few possibilities how the series will actually end. So either they're gonna actually let Tyrek out of Tartarus one last time, or they bring back in completely new, or they introduce a completely new villain, because they can maybe do this one villain that is more powerful than everything that came before one more time, maybe. And if I had to guess, I would hope that they basically make a rebooted version of Groga from Generation 1. Of course, we can't be sure about that. Or maybe they create a completely new character. Both would be fine. I just hope that it's a memorable villain. But I think Groga would be pretty good, cool, because I watched that the G1 episodes with him, and besides the fact that, well, it's Generation 1, so every character is as interesting as a piece of paper, and the animation is kind of shitty. It was actually a pretty decent four-parter. Yeah, Generation, that was 4 10-minute episodes. Oh, yeah. Now, another thing I think is kind of interesting is that we don't really know what's gonna happen with Equestria Girls after season 9. I mean, there is a possibility that they decide to reboot it alongside MLP, but technically speaking, Equestria Girls is its own franchise by now. So it is somewhat independent from Friendship is Magic, but still connected. So I could actually see them continuing Equestria Girls a couple of years after Friendship is Magic has ended. So that's another interesting take. And with the upcoming Equestria Girls special where they cross over into Ponyville, into Equestria, and become ponies for the special, I think it could be possible that Friendship is Magic more or less continues with Equestria Girls for a bit, even though the show already ended. But we'll see about that. I would actually like to see that because I liked Sunset Shimmer. Yeah. And, well, then there's, of course... Yeah, that's it. And then there are, of course, the comics, because, well, they are the MLP comics are some of the MLP comic series is one of IDW's best-selling comic series, so I don't see them canceling them right away. They will probably continue for a while. So that's interesting. Maybe we actually get to see more of that. And yeah. Well, and one last thing. We got in that Hollywood Reporter article some informations on episode 200. And that episode will be about Twilight Sparkle and her big brother, Shining Armor, pitting their wits against each other to settle a long-standing sibling rivalry score. So, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's something. I think that sounds... we're finally getting a Shining Armor and Twilight Sparkle episode. That's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see that. Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions? Because I think I rambled on for long enough and it basically got everything out of my system. Sibling file. Can't wait for a review of that. Oh yeah. I already tried to figure out who I should ask if I should collab on that one, because that sounds like something that would be a lot of fun to collab on. Okay, guys. I think that's it for today. I got everything. I basically said what I wanted to say. So, I see you guys around. Have a nice evening. And, of course, stay foxy.